So now we will talk about autotrophic nutrition. So this is the mode of nutrition in which autotrophic organisms, or we can say as autotrophs, fulfill their energy and carbon requirement by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, autotrophs. Whenever we say this word, as we have already studied in our junior classes, that the plants are normally called as autotrophs. Why? Because they produce their own food. All right. So in this process, autotrophs takes in substances from outside and convert them into stored form of energy. Means they gather the raw materials from the environment and then convert it to energy. All right. Here the outside substances, or we can say as the raw materials, are in the form of carbon dioxide and water, which are converted into carbohydrates in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So these carbohydrates provide energy to the plants, and the unused carbohydrates are stored as starch. In case the plant require more energy, this energy is supplied from the reserve of the starch. Similar action takes place in humans, or we can say other animals also. The stored energy is being reserved as glycogen. This is an equation representing the energy production or formation in plants, or we can say during photosynthesis. Here carbon dioxide, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacts with 6 molecules of water to produce glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. Along with this oxygen, water is also being produced, 6 molecules of water. Alright, in this process, chlorophyll absorbs the light energy and converts it to chemical energy, which then splits the water molecules to oxygen and hydrogen. Carbon dioxide here gets reduced to carbohydrates. Now, it is not necessary that the steps should be carried out one after another immediately. For example, desert plants, uh, during daytime, the desert is extremely hot. So the plants do not open up their stomata, because of which the loss of water gets reduced. Now plants during the night time, they absorbs or they takes up the carbon dioxide, means they open up their stomata during the night time and prepares an intermediate, where during the daytime they absorbs the sunlight and they prepare a food during the daytime. If we see the cross section of the leaf, it can be noticed that some green dots called chloroplast are present, and this contains chlorophyll. If you see in the lower epidermis, there are two guard cells. Just next to the guard cell, there is a small opening, and this opening is called as stomata. So now stomata are tiny pores present on the surface of the leaves, that is in the lower epidermis, through which gaseous exchange for a purpose of photosynthesis takes place. These pores gets closed whenever carbon dioxide requirement is over, as large amount of water can also pass through it. Here, the opening and closing of the pore is conducted by the help of guard cell. This is the guard cell. The guard cell absorbs water, resulting in opening of the stomata. Whenever this guard cell absorbs water, it gets swollen up, and because of which the stomatal opening takes place. And whenever the guard cell gets shrink, the stomata gets close up, and by this way the gaseous exchange takes place in case of plants. Now it must be noted that in addition to leaves, the stomata are also present in the green stems. uh, Means whichever part of a plant is green in color, you will find stomata in those parts. Now one thing should be noted that in most broadleaf plants, the stomata occurs only in the lower surface of the leaf. Just now we have studied already that the stomata is present in the lower epidermis. It is only in case of broad leaves. Now if it is in case of narrow leaves plant, then the stomata are equally distributed on both the sides of the leaf. Now here you see in the picture, the this is a narrow leaf plant. Here on both the sides the stomata will be equally distributed, but in the previous picture, in the broadleaf plant, the stomata will be present only in the lower part.